moderator for this webinar. My name is Utibe, and I'm going to be driving and following the conversations that we'll be having today. And yes, we look forward to a very insightful time. We look forward to meeting our panelists, people who are seasoned in their work as industry players in our very, esteemed industry. So I think just give it like a minute and just see if a couple of people join in more and would begin also. So good to have you once again. Too.
Yes,
Awesome, awesome. So good to have you here. Awesome. That's really awesome and great. It's so good to have you here and to equally have our guest, Ma'am Joanne, who is going to be joining us in this panel discussion. And it promises to be very insightful, exciting, and one of the best, 60 minutes that we're going to have this week. And I must say, it's a great start of the week, right? Starting with conversations like this. And this webinar is, themed from craft to commerce, scaling African furniture for the global market. My name is Rutube, like I said at the start, and I'm going to be your host. And I'll be doing this with, amiable and very, very distinguished panelists, Mr. Falewa, and Miss Mam Joanne. So I think I'll just allow Vivian, right, to do a brief introduction of FEWA, who FEWA is, why we're here, what we should expect from this webinar. Hi, Vivian.
Hi, and good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you and welcome to the Furniture Expo West Africa's webinar. I'm excited to welcome everyone, and I am glad that you're here with us. Also, hi to our speakers. We're glad to have you here. And I'd like to just briefly give a brief of what FEWA stands for and what we look forward to at the event. So Furniture Expo West Africa is a forum that is dedicated to the business, creativity, and strategy of furniture production in our region, which is the West Africa. So we're looking at bringing in international brands as well as local brands to come exhibit at the FEWA 2026 that will be happening in May. And we look forward to a business-to-business platform where we're sure that stakeholders and important representatives in the industries are present. We're also going to be bringing in audiences who are looking forward to expanding their reach in the furniture industry as well. So Furniture Expo West Africa is promising to strengthen the local value chain and make West Africa furniture globally competitive. And also, we are looking forward to the presentation from our speakers at the webinar, and we hope that we're able to learn things from them. Thank you, everyone, and thank you for being a part of this movement.
Thank you.
Thank you once again, Vivian. Thank you so much for just giving us very aptly everything that we should, preparing our minds, preparing us for the conversations and for the bigger picture, which is the exhibition coming up in May 2026. So without further ado, I'd just like to introduce our panelists. We already know them. I'm sure if you're here, you've registered, you saw the flyer, you were like, okay, this is something I must not miss. And yes, the conversations here will let you know that you're in the right place. And we have no other person or persons but Joanne Mbogo, who is the founder and CEO of Joanne's Wood Creation Limited. We also have Mr. Faleye Lanre, who is founder Wood Territory International. They're going to be, driving the conversations today, helping us see a lot around, this industry that we find ourselves, the opportunities, the gaps, and what we should be looking out for, what we should also be adopting, what young and growing people, professionals should be adopting or should pay attention to, I must say. So thank you very much once again. I'll just really begin with Ma'am Joanne. And really, the first question is, by the way, you look really, really beautiful this morning, this afternoon.
Thank you.
So what are the biggest challenges and opportunities facing local furniture manufacturers in scaling up production to meet regional demand?
Okay. Hi, UTB. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible.
All right. Thank you so much for the introduction. Thank you for this opportunity to be able to, partake in this conversation. I particularly like this theme because it kind of embodies the journey we have in Joneswood, how we started from using of hand tools, grew to acquiring machines, and now we are looking to acquire computer-aided manufacturing systems. So for us, it is a topic that is very dear to my heart because it just embodies our journey in Joneswood Creation. So just to quickly answer your question, I'll say the first one, and I think is the elephant in the room, is being access to capital really and equipment financing, right? So we know that so while I was going through trying to get my hands on the topic, I discovered that according to the International Trade Center, 70% of furniture SMEs in West Africa rely on outdated tools. And I wasn't surprised anyway, because I know that it's something that is very rampant. A lot of people, a lot of furniture makers, even in Nigeria here, are still using, the hand tools, the outdated tools. We have not come to the point where we can get those big machines or, the computer-aided manufacturing systems. And truly, you will not blame anybody because these things are very capital intensive, right? Most companies can't afford them. So it's a very big challenge because we furniture makers here don't quite have access to this capital because the equipment are very expensive. So if you ask me, that's for me like the biggest, like the elephant in the room. Of course, there are other ones, and maybe I'll just said you want me to go over, but this is like the major one for me.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, you talked about the expense and a whole lot of things, right? And how that has really posed a challenge to manufacturers. But yeah, I mean, I'd want you to go a bit more, but
Okay.
that's maybe after I have, Mr. Larry also, answers this question, and which is, what must West African furniture producers do to meet global standards and tap into export opportunities in markets like Europe and the Middle East, right? Our last panelist just talked about the cost. I mean, the fact that it's not cost friendly, the fact that there's a financial constraint and all of that. But then we have West African furniture producers. So what do we do, right? Apart from these costs and financial restraints, what do we, or constraints, I beg your pardon, what do we do to meet global standards and tap into the export opportunities in markets like Europe and the Middle East?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. First, I must say thank you for this initiative. It's a brilliant one. And like the first speaker said, it's something that, it's a topic that actually syncs with our drive, our goals, and what we stand for. You see, I'll give a brief story, and I think from that story, I'll be able to explain my feeling. She said something, and I would also say that the first speaker, I've done research, right? I checked out, and it's fine that I'm speaking side by side with her, which is good. And it's good for females. I'm always glad when I see females doing, things in an environment where they are not supposed to be in, or they're not expected to be in. Let me put it that way. Everybody is supposed to be in anything. I actually support women. I have like most of my staff, female, and the administrations are female. So it's a good thing to see that the female is actually doing good things. I've seen that she has machines and all of that, which is impressive. Now, you see, I started from running up and down. It wasn't easy, and I'll explain why I'm saying this. I started from running up and down, buying wood, I started brick by brick. Like I bought wood, I'll follow up with the furniture making. I will do some of it myself, get hands when I see that it's cumbersome, like that. You see, if we should pick it up from where we are now, it will be difficult for people to actually get to where we are now. Right? So I am going to start from where I started from so that the listeners can actually get the way to get where we are now. You see, I didn't get big machines at the beginning of my journey. We started from small, and that's where I would go with the flow, where people say that some of the youths are lazy. It's not from a place of rebuke, it's from a place of advance. Now, when you hear people are lazy, everybody's brain goes to physical strength. It's not about physical strength, it's about tenacity and brain work. Are you following me? Now, there's nothing wrong with you not having the machines at first. All you need to first think of is how to incorporate. You're just starting. And how can you incorporate and get things done the right way and get the result that is expected from a professional? I don't know if you get what I'm saying. There's always a secret recipe. Yeah, there's always a secret recipe to everything, right? For you to get your end result. A lot of people say that they started from 0 naira, and many people don't believe it. That's my story. All I did was create an Instagram page, right? Start running up and down, discussing with friends, having almost no profit at the beginning of my journey, trying to prove or show myself approved to the people the audience I'm trying to satisfy, right? It was from there I started getting referrals that got me to this stage where I could talk about government contracts, I could talk about engineers, I could talk about people looking for me to, produce for them, right? Or to deliver furniture for them or to them. We have to understand that hard work is not, there's nothing else to achieve anything than to put in all the work. Are we following? So there's nothing wrong with you starting small. Your first TV console, you handle it like they gave you a contract from Mitama that you got a government contract that the president is shaking your hand after that job is done. That is the secret to it. Now, what specific ingredients are you going to put in to make your own brand stand out? You should have that vision from the beginning, because it is from your vision that you can write out your mission on how to get to the vision. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. It is from that big picture that you can coin out the small pictures, put them piece by piece together, and have a big painting. Now, going back to your question, let me know, because there are some things that if left unsaid, you find out that we are talking to a particular audience and we are speaking to them on a particular level. You find out that it's always very difficult for them to get to that level and act on what we are saying. So I want everybody to understand and believe in yourself first. Do it from the littlest thing, grow yourself financially to that stage where you can have savings, and then now do big things with your savings. Then, so what must Africans do to meet global standards? I think I wrote what you said down, and tap into export opportunities, just as I've said. And then you must be able to be ready to connect, right? You must be able to be ready to connect. For me, I didn't search for foreign customers. they were referred to me, right? They were referred to me. 70% of them were referred to me. And that's from, like I said, having an excellent spirit, pushing it from little to medium, then to capital. You'll be surprised the amount of people that are watching you. I've had some customers who say, you don't know how long I've been studying you. I've studied you for 3 years. This guy will say, okay, I want to connect you to somebody. And when you find out who is this person, is Dr. Sowolu. Who is this person? Is Otedola's wife. And you're like, you didn't tell me that's who I'm going to meet. But how did you get there? It was from the piece by piece by piece things you've done. Then obviously, you try to use Instagram marketing, channel. Do not compromise on marketing. What I mean is by not compromise on marketing, you see that some people are ready to spend 3 to 4 million naira on their cars. Some people are ready to spend 50 million on their cars when you're starting. Forgetting that it is marketing that can get you to where you are going. Marketing and all these online things are underrated because one promotion can get you to almost anybody. So you will message you, someone from the UK, people in diaspora, you'll be surprised. So the first things first is not to compromise on marketing. Deliver good service, whoever the person is, right? These simple things sound like, no, that's not it. But I tell you the truth, and that is it. Do this little marketings, these marketings at large sum. Don't compromise on quality and be friendly. God, I tell you, be friendly to customers. Let them, Yorubas call it italara, right? I've seen customers who have made losses of millions. I won't say, is it that didn't come to us first? Or you find out that the person will be explaining himself. I've seen a lot of people make these mistakes, even staffs. When they're chatting with customers, I'm like, no. So I train my staff before they can talk to customers. Now, most people will just go to, okay, how can we help you? Address the problem first. You see, all these little things are the things that actually make your customer stay. You can have the person from diaspora coming, but it takes wisdom on understanding knowledge on how to keep them to make payments. I hope you know that a person can come and be valuable to you, but that person will go as they came without you sealing that job. So it's not, I don't know if you get me. It's not just for the person to come, but for you to have the understanding on how to seal it. Don't let me talk too much. All right, thank you. I think I've answered it.
I was going to say these are nuggets of wisdom, but then I was like, nuggets? I mean, I feel like this was even beyond that, right? So thank you so much. I mean, you were able to just, I can point your response to 3 things, and one is excellence, right? Deliver quality, be excellent at it, develop relationships, network, your customers are people who can always, refer it to other people, and then also maximize the power of the social media or the digital media. So thank you so much. So I am sure that just to chime in a bit here, right, at any point in time, this webinar ought to be very interactive. It means that we're looking forward to having your questions. So at any point in time where you have questions, please feel free to, leave your questions in the chat box, and our panelists are ready on ground and they're going to take your questions. I mean, we've got some seasoned people, and so they're excited. I'm looking forward to answering your questions as we go. So thank you once again, Mr. Larry. I'll go over, right, following the conversation we had around the challenges, the opportunities facing the local furniture markets, furniture manufacturers, right? And the question I'm asking now is, in what ways can original design become a competitive edge for local furniture? In what ways can original design become a competitive edge for local furniture makers? And how can we foster a culture of design excellence? I like that, our panelists talked about being excellent, delivering quality. So now we're going to be doing original designs. How can this now foster a competitive edge for local furniture makers? And how can we also foster a culture of excellence even while producing locally? So that's the Manfran.
Okay, thanks, you too. I think that would be me, right?
What did you say?
You asked me, right? I want to be
Yeah,
sure.
that's right. Yes, yes.
Okay, so thanks. I hope I can call you UT.
Sure, please do. When you said that, I'm like, I'm
Oh.
sure she has heard somebody. She knows someone there in Tibe.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so just so that let me just correct. So my name pronunciation is actually Joan, right? Most people don't get it. Yes, I get that. So
I'm
it's
so
actually
confident.
Joan, not the
Sorry.
other one where it's fine. So I wanted to just quickly ask how many minutes do I have so I can just maximize it? So that, how many seconds do I have?
Okay, so in the next 3 to 4 minutes, you can respond to this.
Okay, all right, thank you then. Okay, so speaking about what ways we can, you know, make our original designs to be competitive and also showcase our local, designs and, stand by it. I think for me is the identity, right? One of it is design as identity. Africa is very unique. Nigeria is very unique. I know that we have what we call like the imported boards, even imported furniture, but I believe in our own creativity. And one of it is to infuse our designs, even if we want to do the contemporary thing, we should be able to infuse our locality, our origin into everything that we do, right? So it can come in form of being, making your furniture aesthetically pleasing, just to differentiate it from the imported ones, right? So that's one thing I would say. Another one is collaboration. Okay, so in this part of the world, I know a lot of people don't want to collaborate because they feel or they think that if you're collaborating with your fellow person, it means that you're competing with that person. But interestingly, collaboration is actually the new competition. So we should be able to collaborate with people that are already ahead of us. Maybe somebody has more equipment or have more designs. It could even be architects, it could even be interior designers, right? So if we're able to, nurture that collaboration culture, seeing all of us that, okay, we're all fighting, we're all gearing towards one goal to be, a well known brand, not just in Nigeria, in Africa, infusing our locality into every product that we do. I think we're going to do much better, right? We're going to do much better. Another one is intellectual property awareness. So I know a lot of people that do unique products, that do unique furniture products. But I noticed that they're just in their corner, maybe somewhere in Ikorodu or somewhere in Ijebu, just doing their thing. Nobody knows about it. So I think it's important that there should be some kind of an awareness on how these people that have this design, like the original design, should be able to be educated on how they can, have intellectual property, protection around their products. Somebody once told me that, I think recently I went for a national MSME award, and one of my friends was saying that the most beautiful girl in Nigeria is not that one beautiful girl in one town or in one state. According to her, she said the most beautiful girl is the girl that showed up. So if, for example, there's a contest and, well, in her mind, she's beautiful and she showed up and she win. In the whole of Nigeria, that's the most beautiful girl that we know. So maybe there might be somebody else that is more beautiful than her, but she didn't show up. So what am I trying to say is that there are lots of people that have, like real original designs, but they are not visible. So I think we need to, and that's where collaboration comes in. So there needs to be some kind of awareness. Let these people come out. Let there be some IP protection on their product, on their design, and let's showcase them to the world, right? So if we're able to do that, I think we'll be on our way to being competitive and distinguishing ourselves from the imported furniture. Another thing is design awards and showcases. So like FEWA is having an exhibition in 2026. And interestingly, I'm so pleased to what you guys are doing. At the point I was like, why are they doing all this thing? The exhibition is next year. And it just dawned to me that it's just being proactive. So, these people should be recognized even in their remote places. The award I attended on Friday, I was really impressed. People came from Borno, from the East, everywhere, and people were being, recognized for what they are doing. So we need more of these recognitions. We need more showcases. I know of them, some other exhibitions like I think it's Design Week Lagos, where there was this product, I think it's called Ile Alaf or something by architect Tosin. It was something that was made from, what's it called? Fabric, like the, Adira and all that. People have been doing that, but she was the first person that brought it out for the world to see. And she's the one that we all know today. So there are lots of people that are doing great things, but we need to be able to bring them to the platform. We need to give them that platform so they can showcase that originality, that design, right? And if we're able to do that, trust me, we are pushing not just Nigeria, we're pushing the African product to the world stage, to the global stage. So that's, for me, I think, one of the things that we need to do.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I mean, I'm really having a very good time. I'm learning a lot, right? I think it's the intersection between, being able to promote your work, being able to deliver your work and promote the value that you deliver so people can see it, right? And this is even beyond, from your response, really, it's beyond just the manufacturers, right? It's also, I mean, it's just across the entire value chain. Everyone who is working, awarding excellence, awarding, and also being able to just promote that value that we do. So that's what, I mean, that was really, 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 really good. Do you want to say something? Do you want to add to that, Mr. Larry? The question really is, in what ways can original design become a competitive edge for local furniture makers? And how can we foster a culture of design excellence?
Okay, like she has rightly said, awards and all of those things help. She has also rightly said that a lot of people are, in remote areas, where people would not be able to really appreciate their crafts, right? I think what she said was in those areas, they are not really visibly seen. But for me, I think it is them being in areas where their crafts are not being appreciated, especially financially. So, for example, if you see yourself as a creative, it's not just for you to create the product. That's what I was talking about, being mentally lazy at the beginning. You have to look at, how can I sell this product? Where are my customers? You have to do all those visibility studies. You understand? Where are my customers? These people that are going to pay me, because there's no business that will thrive without finance. Yeah, wait, to be honest, you have a very creative product and you've created everything you've invested. If you don't sell it, you are depressed. I don't know if you understand. You can be the most brilliant person, like she said. A person can be the most beautiful girl in Nigeria, but you come out with the example she said, right? That's a perfect example. But it still remains for the person to come out and let people know that, okay, this is what I have to offer. I don't know if you get what I'm saying at the beginning when I said you have to have a vision. In your vision, all these things are part of your mission statements on how to achieve your vision. So being creative is one thing. Then that's from the angle of the people who are already creative. Now, there is no business, like I said earlier, that can thrive without a secret recipe. The secret recipe into making your business stand out for you to have a large chunk of the market is creativity. That's how you can be dynamic. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Now, there are two forms of it. You can be creative with local products, and you can be creative with international products. You have these two forms of customers in Nigeria. The people who appreciate local products and the people who appreciate international products. I hope you know that you have a group of people that they want you to come to the house and say, it's only in the US they used to have things like this, the braggadocious customers. And you have another set of customers who appreciate efforts, who appreciate creativity. From your vision, you should be able to know who you are targeting. So, in quote, you find out that some of these creative people are going for expos, they are going for shows, they are going for trade fairs, where their customers are not present. You must be able, you must be able to put yourself in the right shoe, not put yourself in a wrong place. I don't know if you are getting my point. I'll give a little illustration of what I'm saying. I noticed that when I got into the market, yes, I'm trying to give people neatness. I want you to see the finished work of my product, because that's a problem from the customers. They say people don't give us the right finishing we need. That was part of my own angles of marketing. People don't deliver furniture on time. The conversation, customer care, is horrible. They tell you this and they deliver this. They tell you they're delivering this time, they don't deliver. Once we make payment, we don't see them. We don't trust people. I wrote all of those things before I created the product. Now, for me to be able to sell my products, I had to create a product that will be different and difficult for other producers to do, which are called so fast. Many people want to do the easy things and run away, meaning something I can quickly frame and upholster in like 2 to 3 days and I've cashed out, right? I would rather use 8 days, 11 days to produce something and then put a premium for it. One, I'm dynamic, obviously, right? I've added a secret recipe, which is gathering up all the problems of the customers, right? And inculcating them to make mine work, right? Which means I'm giving you a time frame that I'm sure I will deliver. I'm having the good customer conversations with you. We are at rest. We are sending you updates of your production, meaning we are doing it together, rather than you just coming up and seeing something at your doorstep that's totally different from what you're expecting. You see, all these small details, once they are omitted, a person can be successful in their craft. So even if you are dynamic or you are creative, you have to have wisdom to be able to put these things together and then being in the right place. That is when you are in business. You understand? That is when you can be successful, even in your creativity. And also I've addressed two different people: the ones who are creative and the ones who are creative with normal creativity, and the ones who are doing international diaspora production and still selling to the market. They are both creatives. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I mean, if I leave you to go on and on, if I leave you to go on, we won't leave here today because it's power-packed and it's a lot, right? It's a lot. We just really have to show up for ourselves, right? Staring from what Ma'am Joanne had even started, the conversation she started on, using even the analogy of a beauty queen, right? Being able to promote and showcase that service, that value that you offer. So if we're going to sum up everything we've had, everything we've said in the last couple of minutes, I would say that we just really need to promote ourselves well, via the service that we're offering, via the, internet, and just promote yourself, right? Especially for local furniture makers, local manufacturers. Thank you so much once again. So over to you, Ma'am Joan. I beg your pardon. I mean, I wasn't going to miss that again.
You're forgiven.
Thank you so much. So what kind of public-private partnerships have proven successful, or what kind of public-private partnerships hold the most promise in developing a more robust furniture industry in Nigeria? First off, I just want you to tell us if there are any existing, what you think about public-private partnerships, right?
Okay.
And then, yeah.
Okay, what I think about public-private partnership in response to what? I didn't get it. Just read the question again, please.
Okay, so I asked what kind of public-private partnerships have proven successful in developing a more robust furniture industry in Nigeria?
Oh, okay. Okay, so I would say, well, like I said, it's a topic that is really practical to me. We recently experienced a fire incident in April, and it was very devastating. You know what? You just wake up in the morning. I didn't even wake up in the morning. I was called up around 2:40 a.m. and my factory was on fire. I was scheduled to go to Ghana that same morning. My flight was 7 a.m. I had an African Women Entrepreneurship Cooperative Conference. So when the call came in, I thought it was my alarm waking me up to get ready and all that. And it was that your factory is on fire. So you can imagine that thing. Within hours, everything we built for over 9 years was burnt to ashes. And
Quite
I
unfortunate.
remember at
Yes.
some point, I told myself, because, okay, so we had like 4 projects that were affected in the fire. And I was just like, so, we African Nigerians. So like, okay, what am I going to do? So the thought of rebuilding didn't even come to my mind, honestly. So I just said, okay, you know what? I'll look for money. I'll just go and sort out all the projects and that will be all. I'm not doing this manufacturing thing again. So that was me, like, rationally thinking at that moment. Because I was like, how do I begin? Machines that I practically borrowed money to secure, and everything was all in flames. So at that point in time, honestly, I didn't know what to do. But in 2 days, after 2 days, of course, I was much relaxed and I was thinking it through. And I came to my mind like, okay, I have friends that have factories. I have colleagues that have factories. Go and meet them, talk to them. And that was where the collaboration thing started. So interestingly, the first 2 people I spoke to, they were very gracious. They offered for us to come, at least complete the projects that were affected. Whenever talking about how to raise money to buy materials, I was just, okay, where can we even stay and work tentatively, depending on when we, plan to rebuild and all that. And, it just shocked me that I said it initially, collaboration. So we went there, we used in fact, 2 of them, one was in the mainland, one was in Shasha, one was around Mushi. It was quite a journey for us because we were based in Abidjan. So imagine traveling all that way to the mainland. Sometimes we were coming back late at night. But the most important thing is that they accepted for us to work. They didn't see us as competitors. So collaboration, partnership, and we were able to get the job done. Most importantly is that you got the job done. Client is happy. So the fact that we lost our factory is not an excuse. Some people will say, I don't have money, I don't have this. You don't have any excuse. For me, I think is your willingness to step that foot forward, the first foot forward. Do you understand? So we despite what has happened, myself and my team, we're determined. So in all of it, we're able to get the jobs, we're able to reduce those jobs. We didn't lose our clients, despite that we had a fire incident that, kitted away hundreds of millions of naira. We didn't lose our clients. We didn't lose our team. Why? Because we thought of partnership, we thought of collaboration. We didn't say, okay, we can do this alone. So for me, I think one of the benefits is, harnessing that thing together. No man is an island. Interestingly, when I got to the factory, they say in Yoruba, in fact, when the fire thing happened, people were saying that, there's this adage in Yoruba that when a king palace burns, it's an opportunity that a more beautiful one will be built. That was the first time I heard that proverb. I kept hearing it from people that were empathizing with us. And when I got to one of the factory, when I got there, I had a panel saw at the time that we were using, of course, before the fire. And when I got to the factory, she had a beam saw, was a more advanced equipment. She had a more advanced, she had like more computer-aided man. And I'm like, okay, if I didn't even go there, if I didn't even, I was still maybe trying to cry and all that, I wouldn't have even be seen, okay, this thing's actually here in Lagos. Do you understand? Of course, I had heard about all those machines, but seeing, and it was a fellow lady like me, so I was inspired. What am I trying to say? I was inspired, and I said, okay, you know what? Yes, we have a bond, we experience fire incident. I am even determined to buy a more hired machine that was burnt. That's what partnership can help you. It broadens your horizon. It exposes you to things that ordinarily you think you just know by yourself, right? So you're able to see things. People, I always tell my team that nothing is new. We are not going to reinvent the wheel. Anything you're thinking of has been done by somebody. So what do? You key into what they have done. Learn it. Do you understand? Ask questions. And like I said, yes, money is a problem, but there's always a way out. Find out how are they doing it? What did they do? right? There are loans that are available. There are grants that are available. People just sit down and say, I can't do this. Have you even applied? Apart from that, the way our job is, this furniture job, like I always tell people that it's a very interesting thing, unlike compared to other businesses where you have to use your money to make products. But I want to believe that, I think Mr. Falaya can attest to that. Oftentimes we take advance payment from those clients. So what is your excuse really? It's not like you are using your money. Yes, you might use your money maybe when you want to expand or scale to get machineries, but a lot of time you are using people's money to produce your products. Do you understand? So take that opportunity and maximize it. When you do a project, you say, okay, maybe I make X amount of money. You keep it, make another one. Before you know what's happening, you have gathered money to get to increase yourself, to get machines, to get a space, and you can just do all that. And even when you can collaborate, seek for industry colleagues that are doing well. I'm an unrepentant learner. I have a lot of senior colleagues in the industry. Sometimes in fact, as I'm talking to you, now I was in Abuja this weekend. I visited a factory while I was in Abuja, a big factory. Because for me, I was like, okay, I want to see what's happening in this city. Who are the big players? What can I learn? What can I see? That's me. I went for something else, but off my head, I was okay, what can I do? So as wherever you are in your space, look up where are the big players? What can you learn from them? Can you partner? Can you collaborate with them? And if we are all doing well in the furniture industry, trust me, it's for our own good. People will be forced to do well. When you know that this company is doing, you too, you air up your game. Yes, you air up your game. So that spirit has to be really, really, infested in us. That's one of the ways that we can forge ahead as a sector.
Thank you so much. First off, I must say, I'm so sorry for your loss, and it's a very delightful thing to know that you're even bouncing back, and like the Yoruba adage that you said, right? It gives you a better palace, and I can't wait to come see your palace someday, right? And yeah, for everyone who is here, who is listening in, you can ask questions, right? This is an interactive webinar. Feel free to leave your questions in the chat. I'm looking at the chat now and I haven't seen any questions. And I know that our panelists are doing excellently well explaining and dissecting things that we need to do to improve the industry, to also, become better, local furniture manufacturers. So please feel free to ask your questions. And I just want to say that this is actually powered by the Atlantic exhibition, and we're looking forward to a bigger event. If you think you're listening to anything here now, if you think you're learning anything here now, then you just want to imagine what you're going to learn, in May 2026, right? Just want to imagine what you're going to take out from the 19th to 21st of May 2026 at Echo Hotel, and Suites in Lagos, Nigeria. Theme of that event is exploring innovative home interior and furniture design trends in West Africa. That conference is not just a conference. Expect to network, expect B2B matchmaking, like Vivian Sessi had said at the start. Expect exhibition and expect opportunities to meet with so many other people. I'd give you a little tip here. All right, we've heard a lot about following people, learning from people, understanding what is working, what's going on. Mr. Larry had said, understanding your market. Do your market survey. Where are they? And also promoting yourself. We've heard all of these things. Networking, collaborating with people. I want to tell you something now. At this point, if at the start of this conversation, at the start of this webinar, so Larry had said he did his own quick research and saw Ma'am Joan. I'm sure I got that name right this time, right? And saw the very amazing things that she does. If you've not done your own research on our panelists right now, you are really missing out on something, because that's the first way to begin to already implement what you're saying. Because I'm sure by the time you check out, if she's telling you to promote your work, be sure that she's promoting her. She's doing a whole lot, right? So you might also want to just look at her work, look at Mr. Larry's work, check out, check out Wood Territory International, check out Jones Wood Creation Limited. Follow those pages and be inspired. Be inspired. Thank you so much. So over to you, Mr. Larry. And this question really is still on the subject of collaboration, but now I love that our last speaker, Joan, actually spoke about collaborating with industry peers, people ahead of you too. I want you to really focus on partnerships between, private establishments and partnerships between the government. So how can, private establishments and the government collaborate? Are there even any existing collaborations at the moment? All right. So what kind of public-private partnerships have proven very successful, if there are any? And yeah, how is this helping in developing a more robust future for a more robust furniture industry in Nigeria?
Did you call my name?
Yes, I
I was waiting for you to say, all right, I was waiting for you to direct the question.
also actually called
Obviously
you.
knowing that she spoke.
I guess you missed it. I
Oh,
called your name.
right, okay.
I said I
Yes,
would like you
I
to
think I missed
dwell
that.
on public-private, conversation.
Okay. All right, so I got the question. First things first, I have to, channel it to Ms. Joan that, like the Yoruba say, I'm very certain that you will recover from it. For you to have gotten thus far, knowing the way you got to where you are now, I'm sure it won't be difficult for you to get back there by God's grace.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry for your loss. It's a very big deal and a very painful thing. I've experienced it, but partially, not
Thank you.
even it was when I was starting, so I couldn't feel the pain as at that time as much as you would feel 9 years of experience just go down the drain. I'm so sorry about it, and I know God will reward you for your efforts and your consistency. All right.
Thank
Then she said something. No problem. She said something about partnership. All right. So a friend, I posted it on my status before this meeting. Somebody sealed a deal with Zamfara government over 4 billion, 200 million, and some few thousands. One single transaction. Now, he will call his friends, right? He will call his friends to get it done. We will call us to get it done. What did he do? He is not even a furniture person, but he has the link to the government, right? He won't now go and start buying the materials from the market. What is he going to do? He will leverage. That's the word. He will leverage on the experiences and the opportunities that others have created to be able to achieve his goal. Now, you talked about partnership with government bodies and all of that, right? That's why I started with that example. The person who actually gets the job isn't always the person who would actualize it most times, all the way. I'm talking of volume now. I'm not saying, for somebody, I'm not talking of baby money. Please get this. Like I said, when you start, you get to a particular stage where you can talk at this frequency. By God's grace, that's for everybody who is listening, who is interested in furniture making. But at the beginning, you have to work hard and build yourself. You build yourself from 15, 10, 3 staff to 30, 40, get 100. When you get to 100, and I want you to understand that nobody's pursuing you. You are not also running after anybody's race. You are not competing with anybody. You're competing with yourself. What I mean by not competing with anybody, you can't say maybe because I have 100 staffs. You are just starting, me too, I can do 100 staffs. When the inflow is not coming, you are dying already because you are paying staffs on a stage where you are not. And for you to have a particular staff chain, that means you have gotten constant with the inflow that sustains that number. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. You don't now say because a 4 billion naira contract comes in, you employ 400. When you don't know if the next 4 billion contract will be in another 3-5 years or never come again. In that scope, what you need to be able to float is partnership. Sometimes, it has hit me before, and that's not even on this level. Maybe it was 5 million then. I was used to maybe a scope of, when we started now, money value and all, used to a scope of like 500,000, 700K every month, as in terms of inflow. When I first started, all of a sudden, one woman just called me, we smiled, like I said, being friendly with the customers. Come to my house now, man. You are supposed to pay for my fuel, but don't worry, I'm coming. I'll come and eat in the house. Okay, but come. I got there. smiling and everything. And the next thing I'll say is, I wanted you to do me this one, but I like you be on just in Yoruba, in English, it means you're like a son to me. Take all of these things and just get it done. Ma, you said what? I took it in. It was an answered prayer, right? I messed up the relationship with that woman because I promised a time I couldn't deliver. Right? You see, we delivered, right? But we messed up the time. I had to start begging to fix up the relationship. I had to pally up with the children. You see, that's when I was talking at the beginning, I said, relationship is like the most important thing you need to do. The way you attend to them is what, I'm telling you, is what makes everything. Please help me open that door. Open that door. Right? This is part of the issues of why you'll be spending so much money as a producer, because you'll be spending so much money on diesel to sustain light. But yeah, back to what I was saying. You see, so at that time, I had a particular scope. I was at a particular level, right? And I took in that job, believing in myself, which is not bad. But you need to understand that when you are doing production, you are not working with yourself alone. You have other people who may not have the same dream or drive as yourself. You are trying to train them, but you should know your capacity per time. And that is where you can leverage. That is what saves us. Instead of us running into trouble, you run into partnerships. We are not in a competition with anybody. Engage, talk to people. Like she said, she went to someone else's factory to check when she was in Abuja, right? That's a normal thing for us. You go explore, you see. Now, if those people were in competitions with us, what would they tell you? Don't enter my office. What are you coming for? Is it not furniture you are doing? Go and check someone else. Don't come to mine. But they welcome us. Why? Because they understand these things. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. She said something. She gave an example of when our office got burnt that will soon be revived. She was going to meet other people, and they welcomed that she was able to finish all the productions she had on. If she didn't believe in partnership and she wanted to go and starting again, or get a new place and start producing, start rushing it and all, I'm telling you that the result will be messed up. Even as skilled as our staffs are, what's going on with these people now? Even as skilled as our staffs are, and as credible as our production would be, just picking up immediately will be difficult. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Partnership, right? Partnership. Now, I would also make you understand the secrets. When we are telling people things, if we want them to make it, you give them recipes, you give them ingredients. If you want to make, for example, jollof rice now, or you want to make a particular sauce, if I don't tell you that, I'll fry my pepper first. And I don't tell you just put pepper on fire, you can make it. I've not taught you anything. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Apart from God as, apart from God as our core, spirituality is also very important, but that's not for today, right? Apart from that, you need to understand that the people to partner with, the right people to partner with, should be written down. You see, we are producers. You partner with interior designers. They are the ones who get it broke from the customers. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. You partner with architects. You partner with engineers. Then you go and submit your proposals. All right? When you find out that, so for example, it's obvious that they'll be doing innovations in the government house. Don't be afraid. Look for somebody, smile with them. So give them your CV. Let them check you out. Keeping in touch. Hello, I just wanted to say hello this morning. I was passing. I said I should drop. I got this wine, and I said I should drop it over at your doorstep. Things like that. You'll be surprised when they don't say, "But we need a furniture person." I have somebody. That I have somebody is what changed people's lives. Even sometimes better than hard work. Even sometimes better than hard work. It is that goodwill that changes your story. It is hard work that keeps your story moving. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So don't leverage on this. Yeah, leverage on this.
Ask for a relationship builder, right? A PR professional, for instance.
Yes. Okay. So you focus on interior designers. Because if you are doing things in bit by bit, bit by bit, bit by bit, you can never compare it to the volume that comes at once. In your buying of materials, you'll be able to save more. In your production, in your delivery, you are delivering to one particular place when you have an excellent spirit. Though. Because if you mess up, you have to be going back and back and back and forth trying to fix it, right? You leverage on interior designers. Architects have the password to the owners of these projects. You go, you see a tall building. Don't you know that it's doors and furniture and chairs and everything, kitchen cabinets that will fill up the place? You see all those building high rises in VI. I mean, and I'll be wondering, you'll get there and they'll say nobody has come here. And I'm like, this is not even competitive. Nobody has come here as I'm the only one dropping a proposal here. Access Bank wants to renovate. Nobody, you're only two, and you're looking at the second person that this one is not even a contender now. What does that mean? A lot of people are seeing this thing, but they are not harnessing it to the capacity at which they should. In Nigeria, your workshop shouldn't be less busy in a minute. It's as bad as in my office. I'm praying for people to want to work in the night. I pay extra to motivate people to work in the night, but I can't kill them. And how do you get this flow? By open your brains, open your minds, not just think of the work, think of how to make it work.
Thank you so much.
And I tell you, your story is history. It's history. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I mean, that was, if anybody really took notes of these, right, you'd definitely be doing something right moving on from now. If you took note of everything Salami said, you'd be doing something, you'd be doing so many things right, moving on from now. I mean, after this webinar. So if you haven't yet registered for the conference, right, the theme of the conference on 19th to 21st of May 2026 is Exploring Innovative Home, Interior and Furniture Design Trends in West Africa. If you're yet to register, the form is in the chat. To attend or to exhibit, you might want to just take a moment right now and fill the form, lock it in your calendar, 19th to 21st of May 2026. And for more information, please reach out to +234 916 9972 422, or you can also send an email to contact@furniturewestafrica.com. So we're having a very small time. We're beginning to wrap this up. So I'll just say in a minute, right? Or these are last questions for each of the panelists. And I'm hoping that I still get questions from everyone who is listening in, because our panelists are here very prepared. You can already hear, you can feel the energy, the passion. For instance, Mom Joan actually lost a lot, but when she was narrating that story, I just told myself it could take only passion for someone to go this far, right? Because at some point you might just want to, like she said, you could just be devastated and say, you know what, I'm done, I'm not doing this anymore. But then you just keep going, right? You can see the passion, you can feel it from their responses, and you don't want to miss an opportunity to engage with them right now. So I want to implore you right now that if you have questions, feel free to leave them in the chat box. You can raise your hands, but if you want, feel free to leave them in the chat box and I'll take your questions. Well, then for our last question, I'll be directing this last question to each of the panelists. So I just give a minute each or two at the maximum, right? And I'll start with Ma'am Joan. And I love that I'm getting the pronunciation of your name right at this time. So yeah, as a global, somebody who is growing a global brand, right? Global furniture brand, right? Now, global attention also turns towards sustainability, right? Sustainability development, sustainability production, eco-friendly production and all of that. Global attention turns really towards sustainability. How can the West African furniture industry adopt eco-friendly materials and practices without raising production costs? Because to be honest, we need our climate, we need our planet. We want to produce and also reserve our planet for the future, for tomorrow. So how can we adopt these sustainable practices even without being, raising production costs for the consumers? Because like we said at the start, there's also the challenge of, there's also the financial constraints, right, for those in the industry. So how are we now going to be able to adopt to balance this equation? So in a minute or two.
All right, thanks, UT. I love this question because it's something that comes up, especially when we are interacting with customers and we give them options. So we usually say, okay, this option is a budgeted option. Of course, it's not that it's cost effective. Then we have the premium option. And when you tell them that, okay, the premium option, because we're using, sustainable raw materials, we're using the European, those ones that are ISO certified and all that. And this is the reason why the raw materials are expensive and also impacts the bottom line. And they're like, so I like it because your question is saying, how do we now balance it? Because the truth is that the world is moving towards sustainability. SDG is saying we have to, be green in everything that we do. So for me, I would say, first of all, is there are lots of ways we can approach this thing. So aside that, okay, raw materials are expensive, which also affects the final product. I think beyond that is how are we using our materials as furniture makers, as woodworkers? Like, how are we managing our waste? So, interestingly, there are some things that are happening in our manufacturing factories that as little as they affect our bottom line. So I remember when I started, of course, then I didn't even know how to optimize. I didn't even know when you're talking about optimize, I didn't even know how to use the big machines, right? It was more of circular saw and more like you call a carpenter, you give them, okay, I have this job and they do it. I remember there was one particular project I did in Ajak then. Oh my God. This carpenter wasted my materials. Like there were small chunks of boards here and there, of course. By the time you put all those off cuts together, trust me, they were up to 10 boards. And I'm asking myself, why? Like, there are things that could have been avoided. So first of all, I would say is calculating correctly, like doing proper estimation of the materials that you are going to use. And one of the ways you can do that, of course, we're in a technological era. There are softwares, there are apps that help you optimize efficiently and maximize your waste. So instead of having maybe an 80% waste of offcuts, you can have as little as 10% or 5%. And even when you have that 10% offcut, there are things that you can use them for. So one of the things we do in Joneswood is that we, as much as possible, we are crafting out, like we call it JWC basic. It's not like what we do in the main company. So what that arm does is that they utilize all our offcuts. We turn into, sometimes we make phone holders, we make stools, small things that ordinary maybe you would have thrown those, but trust me, those things are you can see them, they are small. Maybe somebody will buy something 10,000, 20,000, multiply it by 500 people in Lagos alone buying that thing. Do you understand? So those are some of the things that we overlook, but trust me, they can help cushion out those other high costs. Maybe you understand what I'm saying? So if we're able to even manage our off cuts, I think we'll be good. We're able to manage. Okay, and again, instead of those off cuts constituting, pollution to the environment, we're talking about being sustainable. So instead of them going to the waters, going to the drainage, you are reusing them for other things.
Cycle.
That's one. That's one. Another one is process efficiency, right? So like I just mentioned, is you optimizing and ensuring that you have, you are maximizing all your products. There's a training that I do, I call it's a cabinet optimization training. In that training, I teach cabinet makers how to not just design your product. In fact, I've made it easy. Before now, what I used to know was doing it manually. You bring calculator, you say, okay, you want to do like a wardrobe. I need two sides, you write it, 19 by 500, how many pieces, two. So I discovered that was a very cumbersome thing. And honestly, it's very cumbersome. And even at that, you could make mistake. And I went into research. I'm someone that likes to look into things. And I found out that there's actually a software that you can put in your modules, maybe like the plaque, what everything you want to build, and it calculates it for you. Not just calculates it for you, it now gives you the quantity of materials that you use. So we're able to, those things are very easy, interestingly, but you just need to learn them. Like I said, I train people. I remember one of my class, one of the guys, he registered from Abuja, and it was like, he was so marveled, like he didn't believe that there could actually be an automation to this thing. And he had paid money to some other people, you know, more money. Interestingly, that training was almost like a free training. It was a training that I said, you know what, pay any amount that you want to pay. Even if you pay 2,000, you pay 1 naira, just come and attend the training and have that exposure. Because it's something that I struggled with. I found a solution and I was willing to give it out. So that's one. Another one is green certification, right? So yes, there are lots of certification, the international ISO, you know, FICA, MINSA, but we have even local ones that are not as expensive. So even if you do like a sun or sun cap, it's within Nigeria, it's not as expensive as international one. It also reduces your bottom line because you trust me, somebody that has done ISO, you don't expect the person to price the same way with somebody that has not done ISO. So if you're able to do even the local certification, it will not also shoot up your cost, right? So it's doable. Trust me, it's doable. But we just need to be intentional about it and put our minds to the little details. As manufacturers, put our minds to the little details. Those things that you think that they don't matter, they are matter. They are where monies are slipping gradually, and we don't know. At the end of the day, you're not trying to say, you're not making profits. There are other ways that you can make profits. So just be efficient, maximize your off costs, and with that, you can be sure that you're building not just a furniture brand, but a furniture brand that is sustainable.
Thank you
that's
so
for
much.
me. That's the point, yeah.
Thank you so much. Be efficient, and also, you know, I think pay attention to everything, every detail across, you know, your operations, every detail across your operations, across the entire country, to how you're sourcing, to how you're producing, and like you said, you can cost differently, especially if you going, you know, acquire some certifications, or if you know, like you gave around about premium clients, because these people know that this product has sourced in this kind of way, and you can also get this other alternative if you know it doesn't fit into what you want. So thank you very much for that. And to our last question, and this goes to Mr. Larry. We're ready for this last question, and it says, furniture production is capital intensive. You said this. We've flogged this, right? We've said, you know, the cost of everything, the cost of running a furniture business, right? Even in Nigeria today, right? Furniture production is very cost intensive. So what innovative financing models or partnerships could improve access to credits for local manufacturers? I want you to bring this to 2 minutes, please. Right. So as much as possible, let's how we can say, okay, so what innovative financing models or partnerships could improve access to credits for local manufacturers?
Okay, thank you. Now, I don't know how we're going to explain all of this in 2 minutes, but I'll just brief, right? I'll just say it in lines. You know, I really want people to take home something today, right? So the first thing I'll say is share profits. Don't be self-centered. Share profits. And what I mean by share profits is people can actually give you money to actually achieve your goal. You have friends, you have family members, only if you are not a trustworthy person, right? Then two, she said it earlier, in our space, customers actually give us money to actually start producing for them. They can pay you 60%, 80% upfront. For me, I can do 85%, 85% upfront because I know you already know me that I will deliver. So why do I need to be like, why we, do you understand what I'm saying? So that's important. And then save and grow, friendship, strategic friendships, you know, customers pay upfront, and then Fidelity Bank staffs, Access Bank senior staffs. I'll explain. You see, like I said, relationships are very important, but there are some particular banks, right, that give all these credit loans at almost at negotiable, I tell you, at negotiable interest rates. That if you're wondering, is this true? I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Negotiable interest rate. And I want you to also note, don't be too fast and go and start producing furniture down when you don't have a market for it. You don't run faster than your shadow. When you get to a particular level and you know that these particular items, people will buy it, that's when you produce down, not produce down with the hope. You don't faith in business anyhow. You can faith that God would bless you, not faith without strategy. You have to put logic to work. Thank you. You didn't allow me to talk much. You said 2 minutes.
I tried. But that was really apt. That was really apt, to be honest. That was really apt, right? Be very strategic, be very strategic. Don't produce down, right? Understand where you are at every time at every point in your business. I think you've even been emphasizing and reiterating this at the same start of this conversation, right? And you helped us see how that, some things that you even say your realities might be different because of the kind of, how the growth and expansion that your business has, encountered over the years. And so for people who are just starting out, right, you want to be wise and strategic and produce and gain. Ma'am Joan said at a time, she said, she made mention of how unique the industry is in the sense that you can get money from your customers, from your clients, and produce. You can get advance payments. So you really need to understand and be very strategic. You need to put down strategy. You need to know who you're talking to. You need to really know what's going on and very strategic with everything that you're doing. And yeah, throughout this last 1 hour has been very exciting for me. It would have been more exciting if I had questions from our participants, but they chose to be very quiet and just take all in. I'm sure their notes are filled right now, so it's fine. It's fine. It was a very, very exciting time. And like I said, like I have been saying, right, this webinar is a build up to the bigger picture, the bigger events happening in 2026 on the 19th to 21st of May 2026 at Echo Hotel, Lagos. So the theme for that event is exploring innovative home interior and furniture design trends in West Africa, and it's brought to you by FEWA. If you're not currently following FEWA on social media, I also think you're wrong, because I think that's like the only way you're going to, get updates from everything that's going on. I mean, know when there's an update if you're planning to exhibit, you'd also know that. But then there's also a contact email and phone number that you can reach out to if you need to, get a stand to exhibit, if you need to gain more information about the event. Don't forget, this event is not just a conference. You have an opportunity to network, you have an opportunity for B2B matchmaking. And I'll just say, I mean, everything that you've learned here, you've learned collaboration, you've learned public-private partnerships, you've learned the importance of all these things. You want to attend an event that brings you together. I think it was Mr. Larry who talked about, when creatives are being creative, right? They get to spaces where they can really just see what happens. That brings that creativity to life, right? So this is the kind of event that you want to attend. And if you also doubt, this event is for furniture exporters and importers. It is also for hotel and hospitality industry, for those in the hotel and hospitality industry, for trade dealers and distributors, for government and housing authorities, for homeowners and real estate developers, for institutional buyers, and a whole lot more. If you fall into this category, you know someone who falls into this category, you want to register for this event now. So if you haven't registered, do that now. And if you also want, you can copy the message in the channel box and save it somewhere so you can share with someone. Once again, a very big thank you to Ma'am Joan. It was such a pleasure hosting this and moderating this panel and webinar today. I learned a lot, right? I mean, I'm very interested in the conversation on sustainability. So I love that you brought light to it. And I mean, even learning from your experience, from the fact that your space got turned with fire and you kept moving. You kept moving. That's some energy, that's some drive that everyone who participated here should really learn to go for it. And there's something Mr. Larry said at the start. He said something around youth being lazy, and he categorized it. I mean, he buttressed it because I don't want to take, that. Of course, he didn't quote it that way. So he said, we're not just we shouldn't just be lazy. And laziness is not just in the ability to work or to be skilled. It's in the mind. Is is bringing that vision to life. Is writing the vision, knowing where you want to go, and driving it through and through. So these are the kind of conversations you want to expect at the conference in 2026. So once again, you want to register for that if you're yet to register. But until some other time, thank you, and thank you, Ma'am Joan. Thank you, Mr. Larry. It was such a pleasure seeing you and connecting with you today. So bye for now.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you too.